Alrighty folks, so we're going to cover that up for just a second. So we're going to talk about outpacing your pain, where as a minimum, right, you're looking to do something every day, just a few things every day, because you don't want to get trapped in the cycle where you have a bad day, so you don't do a lot of the things that you normally do, right? You kind of take an off day. So the next day you feel like you've got to catch up on all the stuff you did yesterday, or that you didn't do yesterday, and that you have to do today. So you're doing 2 days worth of work in one. So you do that. And then the next 2 days you're sore because you overdid it, and so you now have to catch up on 3 days worth of work, and so you kind of get caught up in this perpetual cycle of increased fatigue, increased pain, etc. So when we're setting up this kind of idea of how can we pace ourselves, right, we want to list out all the activities that we do during the day, or during the week potentially. So here we go, right? I've got quite a long list here, and this isn't an exhaustive list, right? There may be other things that we need to add that are based on your circumstances, right? And what I've done is I've kind of given it myself an estimate of like, okay, maybe it takes me 20 minutes to shower. Maybe it takes me 45 minutes to mop. Lunch, it only takes me a half hour. I cook and eat my dinner, it takes me about 1 hour, so on and so forth. And just as a example, right? This isn't me necessarily, but for someone who is symptomatic and has these kinds of issues, right? I score it on how much it fatigues, how it may fatigue me, or how exertive it is, how tired I am after, or how much it increases my symptoms. A shower, right? It does wear me out just a little bit, and so it only, it gives me a 9. Vacuuming though, that's a 9 out of 10, right? It really wears me out. Preparing my meals is about a 3. Dinner, because I cook a hot meal, let's say, that's a 6. Laundry, having to carry around that laundry basket, that's a 7. But only having to carry it, fold it, that only takes me 20 minutes. And like, right, maybe I take a nap every day for an hour, and that generally helps out with some of my symptoms. So that's a score of 0. So what I've done here is I've added up the total time and the total fatigue, right? And I've divided it, right? Where all of a sudden I feel like, as a bare minimum, what I'm looking for is at least 296, almost 300 minutes a day worth of activity, or a total fatigue score of about 36. So, as we come up here now, we'll uncover this guy. So let's say I eat breakfast, that takes 30 minutes. Lunch, right? So we've listed out all this time here. And this 305 is what happens when you add all of this up. Right, so 305 minutes, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I took a shower, I took a nap. I did a weekly reflection, groceries, and I spent some time to myself. This is only really 5 hours of your day, but you have to consider that you do want to pace yourself, right? You don't need to do all of these things in one go. What would I consider the weekly reflection to be, right? This is something that I feel, if you have issues with this kind of that pain and activity cycle, right, where you can't pace out what you need to do, the weekly reflection is where you sit down and you say, how are my symptoms this week, right? What was my stress like? Does sweeping only take me 5 minutes to do, right? Or is mopping really an 8 out of 10 on exertion? Is it a 9? Is it a 6, right? This is where you go back and you reflect and you adjust based on what your symptoms feel like. From there, right, you may have to modify what you do the following week. As you notice, like, hey, my exertion levels have been increasing week after week after week. Maybe that's a time for you to talk to your pain management, to your physical therapist, to your primary care physician about what else can be done, right? And is this a cycle where every month, right, do you have one bad week, right? So having this log to kind of establish how you feel can help you pace yourself better in the long run. So like I said, this is just a minimum, right? It's only 5 hours of your day. So even when you're having a bad day, right, you're looking to get all of this done. if you're having a good day, right? You can do all of this plus a little more, right? Um, Again, you don't have to do this. This list doesn't have to be 12, 15, 18 items long, right? Just being able to pace out what you can do, so you can do a little every day, be active every day, be a participant every day, right? You don't want to wear yourself out so much that you can't hang out with friends or family later that week, right? Where you start missing out on social gatherings or your local congregation. You know, haha, funny, funny, considering the current pandemic situation. But um, if you are so fatigued or in so much pain that you can't be social, you might have to start considering, how can I pace myself so that I am able to be present in my day to day.